Hey folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, whatever the case may be. Today is Friday, I almost said January, Friday, February 7th, and I figured I'd do a WIP and chat, and share what's going on. But of course, first, February 7th, birthday horoscope. For those of you who have seen my other WIP and chats will know. Be self-confident and trusting. It will make you enjoy your home and friends more. You have good judgment and a fine sense of character, but should not let it predominate your friendships by constantly analyzing them. Oh, I think that's good advice. So if today's your birthday, happy birthday. And there's your horoscope. Okay, so yeah, I did a video yesterday where I was working on my kitty cat, the butterfly kitty cat, for a bit, and it's looking really pretty. Yeah. So, anyways. Now down to the nitty-gritty. So as you can see, yes, I'm doing my Grotesque Cookie Monster again, because after I got home this morning, I rolled the dice on my phone, and I swear that app is rigged. Somehow Mushy hacked the app and is making it almost always land on number 5, which is for this canvas, because she really wants to see it done. Although she's not the only one. I know a lot of you want to see it done, and I want to see it done, and it's coming along quite nicely, and yeah, it's looking really cool and creepy and gross. And anywho, let's get down to it. I actually went through. I actually was looking through these drills in the tray and picking out ones that had holes in them, and threw them in the trash, because apparently there was a whole bunch in this little batch. That's the word. So those of you who've been following along with my channel for a while, and as friends on Facebook or on diamond painting with the Edwards family, will know that I went to a sleep clinic last night. My dad let me borrow his truck so that I could drive out there and get this test done, and so I got out there, and yeah, I was actually several hours early getting out there, because I don't like driving in the dark. My dad doesn't want me driving in the dark because I don't like driving in the dark, and he knows what it's like driving in the dark, because he has issues with driving in the dark too. So, and of course he's worried about me driving in the dark with his truck, so, and with the weather and all of that wonderful stuff. So anyways, I was supposed to be there by like 9:30 at night, but I was there before 6. Yes, before 6. Actually, I think I was there I was there between 5:30 and 6. I got to the city, and I drove to 7-Eleven, parked in the parking lot, and then I looked it up on Google Maps as to where the location of it was, and I had to turn around and go back through part of the city to get to the place. What I should have done was parked at Walmart and done it, because then I would have only been like 3 or 4 blocks from the place. But anyways, I found the place, and it's like, well, because of how close it is to Walmart, there's a dollar store not right nearby Walmart, so I went over to the dollar store to kill a few minutes and see if I could find something to eat or drink. And because I had a little handful of change, so yeah, I went to the dollar store and I browsed a little bit, wandered around there a little bit, got a little bit of exercise walking around and looking. And that particular dollar store, I can get shoebox type containers, but like of all sizes, and I was looking at them thinking, I wish I had more money, I'd buy some. Yeah, anywho, yeah, I bought myself a bottle of Coca-Cola, and I got myself a little Kit Kat bar, and then hopped back in the truck and went back over to the sleep clinic, and I parked in front and sat there for the next 2 to 3 hours. No, next couple of hours I sat there and periodically would start the truck up to warm it up a little bit. I sat there and I read. I was listening more than watching. I was listening to my Watch Later playlist on the way out there, driving down the highway, listening to YouTube. Yeah, unfortunately that meant listening to the darn ads as well, because I gotta focus on the road while driving so I don't crash. So I couldn't skip the ads, but that's okay. It helped me get through like 1 or 2 videos on my watch later list. I was listening to the Sean Ryan Show. He's a former CIA agent. He was in the military as well at one point. And yeah, he interviews some very interesting people. He even did he did an interview not too long ago, sometime in the last month or so. He interviewed Donald Trump. I have not seen it. I just recently started watching his channel again. But the one I listened to, because it's also a podcast, you can actually listen to his listen to him on Spotify. I am subscribed to him on Spotify as well. Yeah, I listened to his interview of a woman that they were protecting her identity. So they didn't actually show her face, and they altered her voice a bit, and they called her Jane Doe, and it's because of her work with terrorist groups in Afghanistan, I believe. Yeah. I listened to it. Don't think I really remember much, though. A lot of what I listen to and watch, it's like it goes in one ear and out the other, and I have to be reminded about it in order for me to actually remember it. Sometimes then I don't really remember it, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it was crazy. He did ask her if she thought the fires in California might have something to do with like Al-Qaeda and terrorists and whatnot, and she's like, nope. because one of those terrorist groups said that they were going to burn the country down, meaning the U.S. But yeah, so at some point one of them said that, but like I'm pretty sure a lot of them feel that way, that they would love to do that because of how powerful the United States is. And yeah, but yeah, she said some pretty interesting things. But that's all I'm gonna say about what she was talking about. Because it was a lot of political stuff. But anyways, and then I was listening to last Sunday's live stream from What the Hales. I think there's a hole in this one. Yep, there's a hole. There's a hole. Yeah, listened to their live stream from Sunday. And I think right after that one was Katya from Carpe Diem does diamond painting. Yeah. So I was listening to hers, where she finished her tabby cat diamond painting. And yeah, I set aside YouTube after I got there, so I didn't finish listening to it until this morning. On the way home, I put it back on and listened to Katya this morning on the way home. And then after that was another Sean Ryan show episode. To do with God and UFOs. That's all I'm gonna say. I haven't finished watching that one yet because it's like 2 hours and close to 2 hours and 45 minutes long. But because I was listening to that, and then I went to my dad's and had a cup of coffee and said good morning, and then my dad brought me home. And then I started watching some more. Watching some more of that episode of the Sean Ryan show. And then it's like, well, I should do a video and let everybody know how things went last night. And yeah, so anyways, so last night, yeah, I get there, sitting parked in front of the place for a while, and I was sitting there reading on my phone and trying to stay warm. And then a vehicle pulled up. I was like parked like right dead center, right in front of the doors. Yeah. But yeah, a car pulled up beside me. And this lady got out and she went inside because she had keys. And of course, the place is closed because they close. They close at 5. Yeah, they close at 5. Yeah, so anyways, after a little bit, I went and I rang the doorbell, and turned out she was just a cleaning lady. She wasn't actually a tech person, because I was hoping that I'd be able to at least sit inside to stay warm until my appointment. But she's like, yeah, unfortunately, I can't let you in. And so I went back to the truck and sat in the truck for a while longer and did some more reading. I did not do any knitting, even though I had that curtain sitting in my bag. I didn't do any knitting. I just sat there and I read. And then while later, someone else showed up. A guy showed up, went in, and after a little bit, I went and I rang the doorbell, but he didn't come and answer the door. So I don't know. I don't know why, but he didn't. And then a little while later, another woman showed up, got dropped off, and after a little bit, I went and I rang the doorbell again, and by this time it was just about 8 o'clock. And she let me in. Yay! She let me in. She showed me to my room. And she explained the procedure. And she's like, yeah, and then the washrooms are over there. And if you want, you can have a shower in the morning. And she explained how, like, when they put electrodes, in order to attach the electrodes to your head, they use this special paste. And it's a paste. It's pasty. It's a paste. Yeah, so anyways, I go into the bathroom and I change into my PJs. Well, I had this outfit that I had gotten from Temu that I wear. It's matching top and pants and neon. Anyways, I wore that for for pajamas, and then went back into the room and I filled out some forms. I plugged my phone in as well so that it would be fully charged for in the morning. And then she came in. Well, I grabbed my other phone and I laid down across the foot of the bed and started reading. And then she comes in and she's like, okay, let's go. Let's get you all hooked up. And so I followed her. To another room where I sat in a chair and she hooked up all of these electrodes and explained about the paste and how to get it out, how to get it out of your hair and off your scalp the best way. Yeah, you gotta run, like when you get into the shower, you run the water as hot as you can handle it over your head, and eventually the paste melts and goes away. But you gotta do that before you even put the shampoo in your hair. Yeah. So anyways, she connects all the ones to my head. To my scalp, and then there was I had to take my glasses off because there was one that goes they go by your there's one that goes like just above your right ear, so there was that. Then there's a couple that go on your chin, one on either side of your chin. There's one that goes on your forehead above your left eye. And then there were a couple that go on your upper chest to monitor your heart. And then there was one that went here on my arm. And then there was one or two on each leg. One on each leg. Yeah, one on each leg to monitor for like muscle twitches and spasms and then there's straps. One that goes above the there's one that goes under your armpits and above your boobs, and then there's one that goes across your waist above below your boobs. And they basically just have like clips on them, so you can clip the wires to them so that they're not like less chance of them popping off, disconnecting while you're sleeping. Yeah, the ones that she attached to my legs, she also taped the wires to my pant legs. Less risk of them also getting disconnected while I'm sleeping. Unfortunately, and then of course there's the nasal cannula, which is the little thingy that they go just up into your nose, into your nostrils, to monitor your breathing. Usually, like if you're on oxygen, that's what they, yeah, it's, you'd have the oxygen coming out so that, to help you with your breathing. But this was just to monitor my breathing. And then of course there was the pulse ox thingy that went on the finger, and then she taped that up so it wouldn't pop off. And normally they don't allow electronics before sleep. But she let me read on my phone for a little bit before going to sleep, which was nice. I was pretty tired already, so yeah, I didn't take a sleeping pill because I figured that it wouldn't be too hard for me to fall asleep. And then after the lights went out, I set my phone aside, and then I'm like, oh crap, that's right. I have trouble falling asleep in a new place and in a new bed. But it actually didn't take me that long to fall asleep. But I did wake up several times throughout the night. There were a couple of times that I was woken up by a beeping noise. The electrode on my arm kept acting up, and the tech kept, she came into the room a couple of times to try and fix it, and she finally gave up and just turned it off, and yeah. She turned off that one electrode. Yeah. So but yeah, I kept waking up, and my left hand was numb. It was tricky trying to like roll over and go back to sleep because of all of the wires everywhere. I was worried about getting them all tangled, and it's like, well, pretty sure they're used to it because they've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. Yeah. So, but anyways, I finally, at one point, I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep. I just laid there for what felt like ever. But yeah, and then I was just starting to drift back off to sleep when she came in, and she's like, she says my name a couple of times, and she's like, and I answered her, and she's like, you feel like getting up, or do you want to sleep a little bit longer? I'm like, no, I'll get up. Might as well. Yeah, normally they'll wake you up between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, and yeah, they'll try waking you up at 6, and if you're still tired, they'll try waking you up. They'll let you sleep a little bit longer, and yeah. But anyways, so I got up and went back to the other room so she could disconnect all the wires and whatnot, and got that done. Went back to my room, grabbed a change of clothes, went back into the bathroom, had a shower. Well, I tried to have a shower. Unfortunately, like, they've got a shampoo, body wash dispenser and a conditioner dispenser, and unfortunately, like, the dispensers were filled with water. So yeah, so I gotta have a shower. I gotta have another shower. Because I just suddenly got an itch on my head and I'm reaching up there and yeah, I just found some more paste. I thought I got it all out. Ew. Yeah, it's gross. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to warm up here. But yeah. So anyways, there was another form to fill out after getting up this morning, so I filled that out after my shower, and then I went out to the truck, hopped into the truck, and thankfully it started. My dad, he's been when he's not driving the truck, when the truck is parked, he has it plugged in. And so he wanted me to take an extension cord with me and plug the truck in overnight, but there's like nowhere to plug it in, so I didn't plug it in. So I was a little concerned that maybe it's gonna have an issue with starting, but no, it started just fine. Yeah, it started just fine, but I sat with it idling for like a half hour. Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I think she must have woken me up a lot earlier than 6. She had to have, obviously, because like when I got into the truck, the clock on the truck on the dash, which is just a few minutes ahead, it said it was 6:15. Yeah, it said 6:15 a.m. So I think she woke me up at 5. And I think it's because of the fact that the sleep test started earlier than that, or I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what time it was when she woke me up, because there's no clock in the room and I didn't look at the time on my phone. Oh, these two are the wrong color. So anyways, yeah, so I sat in the cab of the truck while it was warming up for like 45 minutes, and while I was doing that, what did I do? I got caught up on Facebook Messenger messages, and oh, I missed one. There. Yeah, I got caught up on Facebook Messenger and YouTube. But YouTube was basically like, that's the letter B. I just go through my notifications and it's like, okay, all the newest videos, I put them into my watch later list to watch later. So yeah, I'll be watching, eventually getting around to watching Mushy's latest video. Was that the only B? I think that might have been the only B. Yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of cold coming off this window. I think I'm gonna have to close the blinds. I gotta dig out I'm gonna dig out some safety pins, because I've got I can use safety pins to pin my curtains up, because the windows, around each window there's a side and a top. Like, I'll show you here. So you can see this here. It's got fabric on it, and then there's fabric along the top here, and then down the side as well. And so I can use safety pins and just stab the safety pins in, like those 2 pins. Yeah. And then I've got pins like sewing needles. Like this is a sewing needle. But yeah, like this is how I hang the floss. Yeah, so this is for my pink tree. This is for the butterfly and cat. This one I haven't touched yet. This is for my rainbow cartoon kitty. Yeah, so I'm gonna use safety pins and hang them up, and that'll help cut down on the cold coming, the heat leaking out through the windows and the cold coming in, creeping in. I'm gonna do that today. I gotta do that because it's not very warm in here. I got home, I walk in the door, I look at the temperature on my digital clock, and it says it's 9 degrees Celsius, and I'm like, OFMG, too cold. So I actually turned the thermostat up for the furnace, and on payday I am getting 2 tanks of propane filled. Yes, I'm getting 2 tanks of propane filled on payday. So then I will actually be using the furnace more. Of course, I'll still be using the space heater. That'll help keep the chill down a little bit, but I'm hoping that... Oh, goodness. And I still have to... I explained to my dad what I'm going to do with the little space heater underneath, and he's like all freaking out because he's paranoid that the space heater will short circuit or what have you and start a fire, because he's known some people that have had that happen. My brother, when he was like, he had a space heater in his bedroom, and he left it running like 24/7, and our stepmom went in there one day to put his laundry, his clean laundry in the bed, put it away, and she discovered that the outlet, she's like, well, it smells like burning rubber, and it turned out that the plug, the outlet, like the plug for the power cord for it was melted. So yeah, my dad freaked out about that. She unplugged it and she threw it in the garbage. But I'm pretty sure she also showed my dad. And so yeah, he really does not like that I'm using space heaters. But it's like hydro's included in the rent, so I'm gonna use the space heaters for heat, because it cuts down on the amount of propane that that gets used. It makes the propane last longer if it's only being used for cooking in hot water. Yeah. Speaking of water, oh my goodness. Yeah, I really need to thaw my pipes. The drainage is, yeah. So, yeah, I gotta get that done today. Definitely gotta get that done today, because it's I can't do dishes until until the gray tank is empty. Yeah. So it's going to be a busy day for me. Either that or I'll just say screw it and go back to bed. And of course, those of you who have been around for long enough know that's probably what's going to end up happening. I'll deal with it later. But I can't keep doing that. I can't keep putting it off. It's gotta get done, or else I can't do dishes. I'll run out of clean dishes. Yeah. Light bulb. Light bulb. Light bulb. If you can call that drawing a light bulb. I suck at art. I do. I suck at drawing pictures. Yeah, actually, the last time I rolled a 5 on my dice for diamond painting, I'm like, no, I am re-rolling. So I re-rolled, and that's when I got the purple flower, the purple rose yesterday. Yeah, it's interesting how that app, it gives me the number 5 more than any other number. Although I've only been using it for a few days. But yeah, in those few days, I've rolled a 5 like 4 out of 6 times? Something like that. Crazy, hey? Yeah. 4 out of 6 times. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 5 out of 7 times. That's right, because yesterday I rolled a 5 and then I rolled a 1. So I re-rolled because I didn't want to wanted to try and do something else. Yeah. So my little ghosty. Yeah. So it's crazy, hey? Crazy. Yep, I'm gonna blame Mushy. Because she wants to see this done. But then again, I also want to see this done. So maybe it's just tapped into my subconscious, knowing that this is such a really cool canvas and I really want to get it done. W. Yeah. So yeah, after I got home, normally I grab cold water from the tap to make coffee, but I have to let it run for a couple of minutes because of the heat. The heat tape is wrapped around the pipe, right? So I don't want hot water. I want cold water, or warm water. I want cold tap water. So I let it run until the water's cold again. Well, until I'm able to drain the gray tank. I don't want to be adding to it, so I grabbed water from my water dispenser instead. It's kind of why I got the thing, right? So I grabbed water from that instead and made myself a cup of coffee. I did have a cup of coffee at my dad's. It was a quick cup of coffee, black, no sugar, because that's how he has his coffee. So yeah, he poured me a cup of coffee, handed it to me, and it's like, oh, there's no sugar, but I'm not complaining, because I will drink it without sugar, but I prefer it with. Yeah. I do prefer my coffee with sugar, but I know I do worry that one of these days, because of how much sugar I add to my coffee, I might end up with diabetes. It's just a little fear that's there. It's in the back of my head, and I think part of it is because when I was pregnant with Wolfie, my blood sugar level was a little high at one point, and so I had to get one of those a glucose test done, where they make you drink that really nasty orange drink before the test. Yeah, oh, it was nasty. Yeah. But thankfully that was the one and only time I've ever had to get that test done. And it came back fine. Now I know my grandmother, my dad's mom, she ended up with I think he said sugar diabetes is what my dad said, when she was older. Right, yeah. But she always had a bit of a sweet tooth, and so yeah, my dad's worried that I might end up the same way. I might end up getting diabetes like her because of how I used to be with sweets. Well, the way I used to be. I'm not really like that anymore. Not really. I do like the occasional sweets. Like, I did have that bottle of Coke this morning, but it was mainly because I needed something to drink to help wake me up this morning in the morning, and normally I have a coffee, and they should have, yeah, that's one thing that they don't have at the facility. They don't provide you with coffee. Yeah, which sucks, because that would have been nice, because it would also have helped with keeping me warm while sitting in the cab of the cold truck while it was warming up. I was tempted to, like, leave the truck running and go back into the building while it was warming up, but I don't know. I didn't do that. Instead, I just sat in the truck and played a little bit on my phone. Watched a few videos on YouTube, on Facebook, through Facebook. Yeah. Until I felt the truck was warm enough. And then away I went. Not even thinking I should have called my dad. Because normally I send him a message on Facebook Messenger. And he answers me back not long after. But, yeah, I should have. And then when I get to his place, I pull into the driveway, I walk inside, and he's like, "You didn't call." "Oh, I sent you a message." "Yeah, but you didn't call, and I didn't get a message." I was there for probably 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. And then all of a sudden his computer goes ding, and there's a message. Yeah. I was on the outskirts of town when I sent him a message on Facebook Messenger saying, "Gonna be at your house in a few minutes." And then right after I pulled up, walking up to the house, and I sent him a smiley face. Yeah. And yeah, he got both of those messages at the same time, like 10, 12 minutes later. He's like, "Oh, I just got a message from you." Nice. I sent that like how long ago? Yeah, it was funny, but also a little frustrating that it happens like that. But yeah, the roads were pretty clear on the way down there. They were quite nice and clear. There was a truck in the ditch. Last night, but I don't remember seeing it on the way back. So, yeah. Hey. So that's, yeah, the weather. The roads were pretty clear on the way home too. But there's a section of construction going on around the lake. Yeah, I live not too far from a place called Mara Lake. Mara Lake, yeah. Yeah, and I gotta drive around that lake. So, and there's one section of the road along there that is pretty dangerous. So, and there's some work being done along there, and so got to be careful. And that's actually in the area where there was that truck last night. And then yeah, there's signs all over along there where you got to slow down. So the speed limit goes from 80 to 50. And it's like, okay, so like for the straight stretches the speed is like 80, and then certain turns, because there's a lot of twists and turns through there, some are like 60, some are 70, there's one that's actually 40. So it's like speed up, slow down, turn, speed up, slow down, turn, speed up, slow down, turn. So I just set the cruise control to 80 and away I go. A lot of people that are used to that road and all the twists and turns, they're able to handle going 80 around those corners. But you have to know the road and know your vehicle and know understand the conditions of the road to be able to actually do that safely. And it's the ones that don't, but think they do, they're the ones that end up crashing. I know all of this because there was one time when I did crash in the winter, and that was because of the condition of the road, and I was going too fast for the condition of the road. I knew I was going too fast. I was hoping that I'd be able to handle it, but there wasn't just regular ice, but black ice as well, and I hit a couple of patches of black ice, and yeah, the car didn't quite make it. Pretty sure the dealership had to write it off when they got it back from the impound. Well, not impound, but it was the tow company came out and picked up the car, and so took it back to their lot. So yeah, the bank repossessed the car from there, because yeah, the car was not in my name. I was the primary driver, but my ex-husband was the owner. He bought the car for me so that I had a vehicle. And then yeah, I would, so that I could come and pick up the kids and take them to daycare, preschool. I could drive them to wherever. Yeah. Because he didn't drive. He had a driver's license once before, but he was never really that comfortable with driving. He preferred walking or riding a bike when he had a bike. Yeah, so he bought me a car. And so yeah, it was in his name, and then after he got arrested, he had, like, all of his bills were auto pay out of his account every month, so he didn't have to worry about paying them. It was just every month when the bill was due, it came out of his account. So then all he had to worry about was making sure that actually he didn't even really, his paychecks were auto deposit as well, I believe. Yeah. Where's Jay? Where did Jay go? There's Jay. So yeah, after he got arrested and went to jail because no more money was going into his account, but the bills were still being paid. So the money was still coming out of his account, but with no new money going in, the bills eventually, drained his account. And then after they drained his account, the bank repossessed the mobile home and repossessed the car because they were both in his name. Yeah. Well, since I got this out, I'm gonna do some G's. Yeah, and when I put the car in the snowbank, I went to put in a claim with insurance, and they're like, oh, well, you're not the owner of the vehicle, you can't put in a claim. The owner of the vehicle has to put in a claim. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, unfortunately he's not able to because he's in jail. Because, yeah, he was in jail at the time that this happened. And so basically, yeah, the car sat in the lot until the dealership came along. Not the dealership, the bank. Well, the bank came along and repossessed the car, or the dealership came and repossessed the car. I can't remember. I didn't pay attention. I didn't keep track because it wasn't in my name. They wouldn't have been able to give me any information anyways. And I found a shopping cart that I missed. So, anyways, what is this? Yeah. So I get, now that I'm done this sleep test, yeah, they used to, this doctor or specialist or whatever would use, in the past, they would go over the results of your EEG with you. They would sit down with you in person and show you the EEG chart readout, and they would show you the different spikes and drops and explain what was going on during those points in time. And I know all this because of when I was little and I had it done. But they don't do that anymore, which really sucks. Because it's really cool to look at, right? And see, these are your brainwave patterns, and this particular test was not just like brainwave patterns, but also like your breathing, your heart rate, all of that stuff too, which is it totally fascinates me. I would love to be able to sit and look at it and have a doctor or specialist go over it with me and explain it all, and then of course trying to remember it. Yeah. I wouldn't remember all of it, but I'd remember enough, and then I could share it with you guys. But yeah, when I was little, they actually let me keep a section of my EEG printout, and I thought it was so cool, and I had it for so many years. It would have been I know it's weird, probably, I don't know. I think it would have been cool to have framed it. That would have been cool. I think it would have been cool to frame it. Keep it and frame it. EEG results from when I was little. Yeah, that'd have been so cool. Yeah, but that test was done when I was little. That test was done while I was awake. And they would have me do certain things like look up, look down, look left, look right, think about this, and lift your arm, lift your leg, all that kind of stuff. Plus other things I cannot remember, but yeah. It's just this kind of stuff just always fascinated me. I just don't have the mental. I know I do not have the mental capacity to be able to actually like learn the stuff and actually use what I learn in a work setting. And I blame that on all the head injuries that I have suffered over the years. Because, yeah, I've suffered from quite a few head injuries over the years. When I was, I've mentioned before that I've spent time on a farm growing up. The farm was a foster home. But the majority of the time that I was there in the foster home, it was not for foster care or for respite, but it was staying with friends of the family. Yeah. Because my parents were friends with foster parents. And whenever my mom needed to go to the hospital for any reason, because of her brain tumor, we'd go and we'd stay with friends of the family. And who just happened to be foster parents. And letter T. So anyways, I can't remember what I was talking about now. But yeah, well, one of my head injury, one of the times that I suffered a blow to the head was by a cow at the farm, the foster farm. I was in the barn, and I was trying to leave the barn. There it is. I was trying to leave the barn, but there was a cow in the doorway. So I had to get around the cow. But, well, they're pretty big and intimidating looking. And I was trying to get past the cow, and the cow just casually turned her head and smacked me in the side of the head with her horn. Which, yeah, rang my bell a little. So there's none of that. Well, I got this here. Might as well. Q. Yeah, and ever since then, I would avoid the cows as much as possible. But when you're on a farm, although thankfully I was one of the younger kids, so it wasn't that big a deal. It was it wasn't that hard actually for me to avoid the cows, because it was the older kids that dealt with the cows. They would do the milking of the cows. They would milk them by hand in the winter because of the cold. And then in the warmer months, they would hook the cows up to a milking machine. When they had chickens, they would collect the chicken eggs. Yeah. So, yeah, the older kids were the ones that did the chores. The younger kids just had to stay out from underfoot. Stay out of the way. And I was one of the younger kids. My sister was on the cusp. So, like, she, in the later years, she was with the older kids. And, yeah. Can't remember if she actually was required to do chores or not, but possibly. I was one of the younger kids, so I always had to stay out of the way. And yeah, my foster brother and I, we stayed out of the way. We would go and play all the time. We spent a lot of time playing together. Yeah. I used to have lots of fun playing with him. And oh my god. You look at pictures of him now, oh my god. Yeah, he's always been really good looking. But yeah, he became a bodybuilder. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Look at this. You see this? Periodically I find pieces like this. Where'd it go? Ah, here it is. Yeah. A little bit of trash. Like, seriously. Really? Yeah. Anywho. Yes, I see it's been an hour. But, you know what it's like with, maybe you know what it's like? But yeah. This is what it's like with, squares. It takes a little bit longer to do. Yeah. Well, let me think here. So I've talked about the farm a few times. Yeah, I've mentioned my foster brother a few times too. I've got a foster sister that we share the same birthday. She's the same age as my brother. She was adopted by the foster parents. A lot of the kids that they fostered, they ended up adopting. Yeah, so they adopted quite a few over the years. I know I mentioned 3 siblings, Native American siblings, that were fostered by them. And when they were finally granted permission to adopt them, I believe they were only able to adopt the youngest one because the other 2 were too old to be adopted. Yeah, so the youngest one of the 3, because it's 2 girls and a boy. Well, can't really call him boy, because I've always known him like he's always been a man. Yeah, but So they basically were able to adopt, they adopted one of the daughters. And, yeah. And then there was the one foster brother that, that's my age. They adopted him. Oh my goodness. I can't remember how many others that they adopted over the years. The last one that they adopted, it was quite the struggle for them to be able to adopt her because of their ages. The ministry was hesitant, but they finally relented. Yeah. Okay, thumbs up. So yeah, I'm almost done this. Yay! Well, this section. Not the canvas, I wish. Because it'd be so cool to see it. It will be so cool to see it when it's done. Oh my goodness, excuse me. But I say, I'm almost done this section. And, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I gotta make something to eat. Something nice and warm. Hot. Maybe I'll just open a can of soup, throw it in a bowl, throw it in the microwave, and nuke it. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I know I gotta do up a shopping list here. Even though I don't get paid for a couple of weeks. I like to get started ahead of time on a shopping list. Because then as I'm going along, every so often I'll be like, oh, I need this, and I'll add it to the shopping list. Oh, I need that. As long as I'm thinking of it, I need to do it, or else I'll forget to do it later. Or I just might not remember. Yeah, same thing. Anyways. My mind just... No, the word conundrum just popped into my head. my mind, I find my mind to be a little confusing. Yeah, that's a person. And another person. There. And then airplane. Paper airplane. Smiley face? No. At symbol. Yep, there's one. There. And then I need this one. Threes. There's a few threes. Yes, there's a few threes here. Yeah, when I reorganized my drills, I tried sticking putting them together by color. Oh, I missed 4. Yeah. You know, try to make it a little bit more efficient. And there's another 3. So yeah, as you can see, there's 4. All 4 of these are blue. 3, 3, 3. Let's see. Any more 3s? Because yeah, you can see this section here is all blue. And this section is comprised mostly of these 4 colors of blue. So yeah, I went and I messaged, I think I mentioned, or not, no, I messaged my ex-boyfriend that works, that has a business, has an auto shop in the city that I went to for the sleep clinic. Asked him if if he was up to meeting for a drink at A&W, which is actually at the totally wrong end of the city. It's but anyways, he finally messaged me back after he got home, and he's like, yeah, unfortunately I just got home. It's like, damn, okay. And I told him, well, yeah, I'm stuck in the city for the night because of the sleep clinic. And then I messaged my boyfriend last night and told him, yeah, I wished that he was there with me, because I was at the sleep clinic, and I was going to be there overnight and whatnot. And then this morning I messaged him again and said, well, I'm all done. I'm going to be heading home soon, and just waiting for the truck to warm up. It's so cold. Yeah. But he doesn't read his messages all that often. Well, it depends on how busy he is. So, yeah. And if he's awake or not. And I don't know if he was working last night or not. But, yeah, because he's not always working on the same nights every week. And then, of course, now that he's also like a head supervisor or whatever, sometimes when that happens, he's got to go in early. He starts work 2 hours early. Yeah. So I don't grill him about work. I just, yeah, ask him every so often. I'll ask him how things are going with work, and usually when he comes over, he's got a funny story about work. And once in a while I'll ask him about his cousin Cricket. Yeah. Yeah, so last color, yay! And then this section is done. And then I think I might make myself another cup of coffee and make something to eat. Something to warm me up. My fingers are freezing. I gotta find my fingerless gloves. I think I'm gonna start wearing those around the house. Help keep my hands warm because it's cold in here. Oh. Yeah, some of the putty decided to come off the pen, and yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to later this year. At some point this year, I'm going to look into one of the harder putties from Miawa, because this one is Clout, and it's a little bit on the soft side. When I'm pressing down at times, it will squish out the sides. Yeah. Okay, so I've done this section. Yay! So I'll see about getting this section done. This section is a little bit bigger, but that's because there's like almost half of it is color blocking of white. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go warm up my hands. Oh, oh goodness. Okay, and then see about doing some more work on this. All right, and until next time, bye.